All right, people, here we are back again, episode 2, or just another day in our little mini vlog segments that we're going to be doing. It's been another massive day at Garage 11. We've got so much stuff going on. We've got obviously the giveaway bikes, which we're working really hard on. As you can see last night, we were working pretty wildly on this thing. We should have covers and stuff and top end for it pretty soon, which will be really nice to get that all sort of engine back together, all the power valves and stuff back in it, which will be good. We actually made some progress on this today, which was super cool. Fork tubes, forks all rebuilt, back in, looking good. Wheels, brakes, everything back on it. It's waiting for head to be machined, just adjusting a couple of things there. But we've got the rear wheel and everything in, which is nice. It's finally cool to see this thing back on two wheels. It's been a very long time since that bike has seen a race stand. It's always a good feeling when you get them like this. We're pretty close. Like there's a few little bits and pieces that we've got to do for this thing to be finished up, but shouldn't be too much longer. And that's the crazy, that's the crazy thing with a lot of these older restoration bikes. Sometimes the weird years, they generally take a little bit longer to find stuff, you know, black ignition covers and parts and whatever else, like your mid-90s stuff, like this sort of stuff. This sort of stuff is not easy, but it's definitely a lot easier than, say, some of this older stuff here. And although this is still 90s, it's very early. So you sort of got a lot of that development stuff still lingering around with a lot of those bikes, which is, yeah, it's fine. It's what we do. We've been working pretty hard. We've got Oz Moto Group giveaway bikes, like I said, the KX500 bits, starting to hydroblast them. We actually had a big service on the hydroblaster today, which was nice. We actually went down to the smallest glass bead we could find, which we were doing a little bit of experimenting to try and get a brighter finish out of our hydroblasting. So we ordered, usually we get AG, and I can't remember what it was, but we pretty much got the smallest one that we could, AH, I think, that we put in today and cleaned it all up. So these bits that you see here, we had them sandblasted first to get all the bits and pieces, all the rubbish off them. Then we wash them, get all the sand off them, and then we start hydroblasting them. As you can see, the finish on the newer ones is, the newer beads is way better than what the old stuff was. So we're definitely sort of happy with the result on that. And it generally gives us, you know, it gives you a better finish. Like by the time you start getting a lot of this stuff together and you start getting, you're not just looking at silver stuff or a white frame or whatever else. It starts to get a composition together where you get some zinc plate in your triple clamps. You get your number plates on, so you get some color into it. And it's those little things like that that really make the difference. You've got to try and get every piece you touch you have to try and get it as best you possibly can. That's not always easy or possible, but you always try your best, and that's what we like to do. What else we got? We got the 83 KX 125 frame back. That's been at the frame repairers now for a while. New rails, foot peg mounts, all sorts of stuff have been welded, fixed, repaired. It's been powder coated into its gloss black. So we've got a lot of parts, I think, ready to go for that. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff prepped and ready. New old stock radiators and plastics, which is super cool. Got a new old stock rear guard for it from Cowie, not just a reproduction, it's an actual Cowie part, which we always like to try and find that sort of stuff. Got some HRC replica covers in today, so they're on the website if you're looking for some stuff like that. Technocell. Yeah, don't forget to check them out. Haven't touched the boardie bike. Obviously, that needs some love and attention. contemplating whether to redo that swing arm now that we've fixed up, well, not fixed up, but adjusted the way we do our hydroblasting. So we'll see how we go. My beastie, I'm actually going to have to ride it this weekend. I'll take it out to a private track with a lot of space, try and figure out what's happening with it. Like I said, it runs away after you jump or land. It seems to take off, which is a super scary thing to try and diagnose. So need a lot of run, like a lot of space to try and figure out what the issue is with that. Yeah, I don't know, it's a weird one. Like, it's a nerve-wracking thing, but you know, it's one of those things that we're going to try and do. Still the 95, just waiting on some bits now to come in from Europe, some of the OEM stuff. We get all our Honda parts or our genuine parts from Europe. It's just easier. That's a sad thing because the stuff we can get here in Australia, it's just too hard to deal with a lot of the guys here and it takes too long. Mako, we're still waiting on the cylinder head for that. Cylinder head for this is done. Boys at Electrosil today rang me and asked me to hand over all my monies for it, which will be good. So hopefully be able to get this back together pretty soon and making some noise. I'd like to sort of start seeing this one tidied away. I've got some titanium stuff getting made for it at the moment, which is always good and exciting. We like titanium. Had to lace up this Cush drive today, which is super cool thing. It's super motard based, so it's one of those things where it just takes, like when you're running on bitumen, if you've got if you chop the throttle, it just takes a little bit of that drive out of that initial pop, so it gives you smoother transition, which is cool. I hadn't actually seen one in the flesh, but it's a big hub, but it's also got on a Husaberg, so it's a big bike. What else we got? Nothing too crazy. Like I said, the Hydroblasters had a bit of a birthday, which is nice. Oh man, stuff to do, things to see, engines to build. We've got plenty of stuff on the go at the moment. I think it's time to get the XR80 out again. We've got hubs and wheels and rims ready to be laced onto that. OEM pipes, we like OEM pipes. But yeah, like we've had a pretty productive day. We like to sort of keep going as quickly as we can. A lot of the stuff we struggle with is always parts availability, parts getting here, having the right parts at the right time, which you might think is easy, but it's not easy. And that's sort of where the forward momentum happens with a lot of this stuff. We're either relying on contractors or like people, anodizers and all that sort of stuff, and machine people and all that sort of stuff to get their side of things done. It's very much a business of like a lot of automotive businesses. It's very much we've got to try and get all your ducks in a row and keep managing that sort of stuff so you can keep the projects moving forward. Which is sometimes not the easiest thing, especially with the older bikes, the problem children. But it's definitely, it's rewarding when you start to see them come together. Like, we're starting to see this CR come together, and I'll dig up the photos of what it looked like when we got it, but it is cool to start, seeing all this stuff. Once you get graphics on them and all that sort of stuff, it's cool, it's a reward for the amount of effort you put in. Like you look at this thing here, it's cool to see this sitting here like that. You can't, you start seeing all the colors, like I said, all the colors and the compositions and stuff start to come together. It really makes a massive difference. Like you start seeing them go from a frame like this, to a near finished product or a finished product or something you're going to ride. We do vintage race prep here for a lot of guys. So if you are racing vintage motocross, you're in Australia, it is definitely something that we do. Suspension setups, engine rebuilds, all that sort of stuff. We've got a 86 YZ250 coming in very shortly. Not my dad's, another customer's. And he wants to race it. So we're going to prep it, get it ready. And then, yeah, get that sort of hopefully reliable enough that he can race it comfortably and we can service it and get it handling as good as it can. So yeah, there's all that sort of stuff. Sorry, I'm just looking at my Suzuki here. As much as it scares me, it's pretty awesome. I absolutely love this bike. I actually can probably say that's the most modern bike I now own and ride. Well, own, I'm not riding it at the moment. But that, the CR500, which I love, and my CR125, hopefully we will have maybe a couple of YZs dropping in soon. 92s, I think, or 91s, as well as the Boydie YZ, which we'll sort of ride. Just looking at that Öhlins, and yeah, Boydie, Australian Motocross, we love it. I think I might do some titanium stuff for this. Don't know if I mentioned it in yesterday's episode, but we're gonna look at maybe getting some titanium pivot bolts made for it and axles and all that sort of stuff. So check out the website, stay tuned for that sort of stuff, because we are looking at making a lot more stuff as well. We're looking at, obviously, titanium, our carbon fiber, try and sandcast aluminium. It's super hard. If anyone knows of any people who are interested in doing semi-low volume aluminium sandcasting, let me know. Leave comments, contact us, do whatever you got to do to get in contact with us. I'm notoriously useless for getting back to messages, so keep hounding, because we really need to try and find someone to sort out a couple of things that we want to reproduce. For legal reasons I won't say, but we're definitely going to be reproducing some old stuff that's no longer made by a company that is still around. But yeah, it should be cool. If you're liking what we're doing, please help support us. You know, subscribe, check your notifications on, the bell, all that YouTube stuff. Follow us on our Instagram, which will all be link in the description. You know, our Facebook. Don't be scared to ask us questions. Whatever we can do to help. If you want stuff done and you're in Australia or overseas, we always deal with people internationally who want stuff restored, bikes, you know, restored or whatever. Don't be scared to check us out, get in contact. All right, guys, my name's Kane. This is the end of the second Garage 11 mini vlog. We'll bring you another one tomorrow. See you guys, bye.